two full-backs who can attack. We've got two wide men at Portsmouth, in Anderton and Chamberlain, who's playing today, and Alan McLaughlin, who can get forward and score goals. I think Portsmouth will go for the throat.
I understand that Anderton is a player that Liverpool wouldn't mind having on their books, so...
I think they'd have to pay a lot of money for him.
Yeah, they won't want him to play well today, though, will they? Anyway, it's a fabulous atmosphere, and if you don't like football today, you're in the wrong place, because it's football all the way for you. After this one, we're off to Hillsborough for the other semi-final. But now, let's join our commentary team for this match, Trevor Brooking and John Watson.
Thanks very much, Des, and what a lovely day for a semi-final. Clear sky as football looks forward to its own spring double, and a smooth playing surface down there as Highbury, almost a throwback to the old days, that isn't it, the lad walking round there with the sailor's uniform on, because these 17,000 Portsmouth supporters, as you said, Desmond, are having a day out they won't forget, no matter what the result. They probably don't remember Portsmouth playing here in three previous FA Cup semi-finals, in 1929, 1939 and 1949. They haven't been as far in the FA Cup for 43 years, whereas Liverpool, who have 24,000 fans here, they are playing their sixth semi-final in their last 8 seasons. So there's quite a contrast in the way these two clubs have developed over the past few seasons. Liverpool, who've really only known success, and Pompey, who've been in all 4 divisions in living memory. Well, let's have a look now as the fans give tremendous flavour to the day at the team lineups. Graham Souness able to pick from a fully fit squad for the first time since he became Liverpool's manager. Dean Saunders suspended, but Mark Wright and John Barnes are among those fit to return, and the surprise, I suppose, no place in the 13 for Jan Mulvey. My guess is that Barnes will start off up front with Rush, McManaman on the right, and possibly Houghton on the left. Now, Portsmouth has sprung a bit of a surprise. They've left out Guy Whittingham, their top scorer for the last 2 seasons. At number 10, Jim Smith prefers 30-year-old Mark Chamberlain, who won 8 caps for England under Bobby Robson. At number 2, Andy Orford has made a startling recovery from a thigh strain. Great work there by the physio Neil Stillage, who's been working round the clock. And at 19, Orford is the youngest man in the match. He and number 5, Kit Simons, who Gary Stevens mentioned, have a big responsibility, as does 20 years old Darren Anderson at number 11. Colin Clark, the only out-and-out striker, and number 4, Alan McLaughlin, who is going to play just behind him in what's become almost a specialist position for him. Now the mascots and the captains are in the centre circle, and the stage is set. Martin Boddenham there from Cornwall is the man in charge. Uriah Rennie of Sheffield and Brian Wigginton of Bristol are his linesmen, and my colleague is Trevor Brooking.
Well, as you say, it's a great atmosphere. A bit surprised myself, Jan Mulvey couldn't make the 13, because I thought he was sensational against Genoa, but he's relied on Ronnie Whelan and Michael Thomas in those 2 central midfield positions. Portsmouth, just a great unknown, isn't it, with the uncertainty of 1 or 2 young players, but on the day they might be the key people, and Orford there alongside Simons is going to have a key role, trying to keep Rush and Barnes fit, quiet, and then of course Anderton out wide here. So many clubs are watching, and I think his one, I think Jim Smith desperately needs to be on top form if Portsmouth are going to swing the result today.
The capacity crowd here of 42,000 are in full voice, and the Portsmouth captain, Martin Cool, number 8, packs a fierce shot from midfield, good professional. A lot of the depending on him in terms of leadership today. Liverpool in all red will play in the first half from left to right, and the noise is deafening here. And straight at the kickoff, Barnes goes up with Rush into the centre circle. Houghton's gone out to the left. McManaman's come over to the right, as we thought. That's the way they're going to play from the start. And here's Rob Jones. For Portsmouth, you'll see Chamberlain on this near side. Here's Orford, whose fitness was such a worry. And Orford, in fact, already has made history. He was the youngest man ever to play in the FA Cup, 15 years old and 88 days, when he played in a qualifying tie for Worcester City when he just left school.
And it looks like Orford is the one who's going to mark Rush, and Simons is going to pick up Barnes at the 2 centre.
What a job they've got on there, those 2 youngsters. That was Burns on to Chamberlain. Burns again. Colin Clark leading the attack. Foul, Mark Wright. Of course, harking back to that Crystal Palace semi-final, it was really the set plays that undid Liverpool that day. They punted in the air a lot, Palace. Portsmouth perhaps not that kind of side. Here's Chamberlain. They like to play it around. Darren Anderson, Michael Thomas, McManaman. Highbury, of course, one of the smallest pitches in the First Division. I think it's about 110 by 70. Tight ground in terms of the playing area. Alan Knight, the goalkeeper. It's Nicol policing Clark there. Houghton. Number 5, Ronnie Whelan. 10 is Barnes. This is his first run, and it was Martin Poole who got the tackle in, and Warren Neal couldn't save the corner. Mark Wright has made his way forward, but it was wasted, cleared by Kit Simons. 3 with the throw is Burrows. Barnes. Clark, McLaughlin. Foul, late challenge, Michael Thomas. They might find Thomas might find McLaughlin a hard man to pick up. He's wearing the protective strapping, having cracked a bone in his hand in a match at Southend, but he does pop up as the ace in the hole behind the striker. Simons takes the free kick for Portsmouth. Nichols' header. That was McLaughlin to Anderton. Now Warren Neal overlapping. Anderson again. And Burns is in there, number 6. Chamberlain.
Well, it was the old-fashioned up and under, that wasn't it? I don't think Darren Anderton necessarily meant it, but it was a hanging cross that Liverpool found difficult to deal with.
Just a quick shot there of Mr. Souness. Liverpool very conscious that the FA Cup may be their only way into Europe. It's a very big game, this, for the favourites. And for Portsmouth, the biggest game of the lives of some of these players. On by McManaman. Martin Cool. Whelan, good ball. Rush, Houghton to his left in the centre circle. Has come right, waiting for Rob Jones to overlap. Good running again by Houghton. And this is Houghton still. Oh, Chamberlain. Bit of a scramble on the edge of the area. Ronnie Whelan, a thumping tackle. And here's Rush. Danger, Knight out of his goal. And Rush hits the side netting. And the marking somewhere there, Trevor, went wrong.
Well, the marking went wrong, but I think, in all honesty, Ronnie Whelan there should have been penalised for the tackle on Mark Chamberlain. As you see there, he's coming, he didn't get the ball there, he got the leg, Mark Chamberlain caught it on the thigh. Unfortunately, it went across Ian Rush and he couldn't turn it back into goal, but I think that was a bit of justice, because I think Chamberlain should have had the free kick.
Ronnie Whelan, whose tackle it was, captain of the Liverpool team that won the FA Cup the last time in '89, just back himself from a long injury. And there's Neil Sillett, son of John Sillett, who's here today. They were together in the Coventry FA Cup success. Here's the tackle from another angle. Mark Chamberlain, well, yes, he did crash in there, Whelan, didn't he?
Yeah, in no way did he get the ball, and I think it was very fortunate the referee didn't see it from the right angle, because I think it could have well been a yellow card there.
So, anyway, Pompey survived, and Alan Knight will take the goal kick. Fairly boisterous opening 5 minutes. Here's Steve Nicol. Barnes. And now Nicol finds Rush. And it's McManaman coming in from this side. Houghton! A chance missed for Liverpool.
was a great sweeping move by Liverpool. I think McManaman's touch just pushed him a little bit too near the touchline. He hung it up very well, but it was a tight angle for Ray Houghton to get it in from. He's not the greatest of headers, but you can see just got behind Beresford. Beresford very good getting forward. Sometimes just got to watch it defensively, but Liverpool have started well, haven't they?
They have. I thought Warren Neal did okay there. He couldn't get to the ball, but he did enough to put Houghton off with the jump, didn't he? Number 7. Here's Burrows. Here is Neal, in fact, playing at right back, and he's looking for Anderton. And now Neal and Cool in attack. Here's Neal. Whelan. Cool gathers it again for Portsmouth. Bit of a slice by Nicol. It's going to come out to Beresford. That's his right foot, I'm afraid. He's one of the best left-footed players in the second division.
And he is one of the best attacking fullbacks. That might be the reason Graham Souness decided to play McManaman over that side, so as to occupy him defensively. But he does set up a lot of Portsmouth attacks in Division 2.
Yes, they say that Mr. Souness has seen a lot of Portsmouth this season. There's been talk, of course, linking Liverpool and other big clubs with Darren Anderton in particular and Orford. Here's Whelan. And this is Thomas. Rush. Anderton intercepts. Here's Colin Clark. Looks for McLaughlin. Anderson following up for Portsmouth. Foul. Michael Thomas on Anderton. Michael Thomas back on familiar territory, of course, having played for Arsenal before he signed for Liverpool, and indeed a former Portsmouth player when he was on loan there for a short spell. Anyway, he's conceded that free kick, and Martin Cool will take it. Kit Simons, number 5, and Burns, 5 and 6, both a threat. But not on that. It carried to Grobbelaar. Good throw by the Liverpool goalkeeper. McManaman immediately in an attacking position. Barnes to his... Oh, Beresford. And referee Martin Bodnam is going to take out the book and give Beresford a yellow card. Well, after what you thought about Whelan's tackle, how did you feel about that?
Well, I don't think the referee saw Whelan's tackle properly, because otherwise he would have got booked. But that one was a blatant body check, even though John Beresford says you must be joking to the ref. He's not, because he's showing the yellow card. I think it's a risk. You mustn't let Grobbelaar throw the ball out to McManaman like that and run at Beresford, because he is going to give him problems, especially now he's been given a yellow card.
Well, Ronnie Whelan is placing the ball. We've got right up behind Rush. It's gone in low to Barnes. Barnes shot! He's always done well at Highbury, John Barnes, going back to his Watford days, loves the arena. And he's back in action today after coming off in that England game in Czechoslovakia. A snapshot with his left foot.
Great control set it up. I mean, the ball coming into a ruck of players like that. So many forwards, sometimes you just see it bobble a yard away from them, and then the defender gets a tackle in. That one, he controlled it instantly.
Cool. Right. Chamberlain is badly knocked, hobbling away after that challenge from Ronnie Whelan in the early part of the game. I'm just wondering whether that's going to be something he can run off, or if it's going to be a case of a substitution by Portsmouth.
He's getting worse, and I can't see him continuing with that. And Mark Chamberlain's speed is his strongest part of his game. He's just shaking his head there. You've got Whittingham or Aspinall, both attackers, but Aspinall more is the sort of midfield player, so he wouldn't be out of place wide on the left, so I think he might be the one to come on.
Forward by Whelan. It's a real blow for Mark Chamberlain. He was so excited to be told he was in the side after not thinking he would be selected. And he's going to have to go off in the opening period, it would seem. In fact, they've only been playing 10 minutes. Forward by Cool. Well, it's going to be the inevitable substitution. Neil Sillett, the physio with the cap, is going to bring on, Tim Smith rather, is going to push on Warren Aspinall, as you said, Trevor, And that's a little bit of a reshuffle for Portsmouth. It's so early in the semi-final, only 10 minutes gone. Mind you, he's an experienced lad, Aspinall. He's been around a bit, midfield player. And it's a free kick to Pompey. Burns there with his arms in the air, number 6, wanting it driven long by Warren Neal. That's Clark, and here's McLaughlin with a chance. If he could have just got it down with his first touch, he was in.
That is the one danger area. I think Colin Clark's very good in the air. That was a good free kick. He nodded it down very intelligently, as you can see, was very aware, just keeps in front of Mark Wright, nods it down deliberately, just bounces up a bit high. He can't get it down low enough for McLaughlin, and it was a good chance.
That's where Portsmouth were hoping they would gain an advantage. If there's Mark Chamberlain, it looks like the knee, and what a blow for him. You have to feel sorry for a player like that. 10 minutes into a semi-final, he takes no further part. Really bad luck, and not a particularly good tackle which caused it. Here's Wright. Cool. Flags up for offside. It was Clark, but referee Boddenham correctly plays an advantage. No need to stop the game. Forward by Wright. Barnes chasing. Simon's header. Rush. Beresford was it? Caused him a bit late maybe. And it's Ian Rush who's in pain now. So Liverpool will get it was yes, it was Beresford. So in almost the same part of the pitch that Chamberlain was hurt by Whelan, Rush is now on the ground.
Just for a moment, I expect John Beresford remembered the yellow card a few minutes before. I think that was just a bit clumsy more than malicious. Ian Rush, though, just got his ankle wrapped.
It's going to be Houghton to take the kick. And it's Houghton again, square to Whelan. Houghton runs from deep, he's onside. Beresford. Corner. Short to Jones. McManaman. Houghton. Thomas. Cool. Jim Smith on his feet over there, making all sorts of gestures with Graham Padden, his assistant. Simons. Anderson. McLaughlin. David Burrows. Well, if you've joined us late, we're in the first quarter of an hour still, and it's Liverpool 0, Portsmouth 0, but a substitution for Portsmouth. Chamberlain off injured, Aspinall on. And so far, one chance for each team. Both missed. Poole. Clark. Anderton. McLaughlin. Anderton again. Nicol. Well, the young Portsmouth lads seem to have settled okay. After 15 minutes of the first half, no score. This is McManaman for Liverpool. And Rob Jones, Aspinall has to be aware of him here. Barnes has gone into the penalty area, so has Rush. Michael Thomas well forward also. McManaman. Thomas. McManaman. Barnes!
Well, McManaman has caused him a bit of problem down the right, and of course it was a good overlap by Rob Jones. He must have taken, what, 5 yards out, I think, of the for Warren Aspinall when he came on. There he does, plays a 1-2 with Michael Thomas, plays it square to Barnes, and just stretching, got underneath it over the crossbar. But it was a move down the right with Rob Jones, whose acceleration took him away from Aspinall, and I don't think he'd have got past Chamberlain like that. That was the difference between the two.
Yeah, that is the point with the defensive side of that enforced substitution. This is Nicol. Oh, that's a good ball. McManaman. Now they've got 4 in the centre this time. Oh, it's Andy Orford this time doing Beresford's job and bringing down McManaman in similar fashion, really. And Liverpool have forced a string of free kicks on this side of the field. McManaman is a headache to the Portsmouth defence. And now it looks as though John Barnes will mastermind this. Or will he? He's gone away again, leaving it for Whelan. I think Barnes had a look at that for a possible curler with his left foot and changed his mind. Well, he didn't change his mind about where the danger was. He got a header in. In fact, that's 3 strikes at goal now for Barnes.
Yeah, not quite clear ones, but it was a good run again by McManaman against Orford, and it was a trip, fortunately, just outside the corner of the 18-yard box. But I think you've got to get Beresford much tighter than McManaman. At the moment, he's running at defenders, and when he's in that sort of form and he's got a couple of yards to run at people, he is devastating. And I think they've got to make sure Beresford's quite tight up against him so he can't turn and run at them.
Yes, quite a few people thought McManaman would play up front with Rush today with Barnes wide, but we've already seen the reasons why the Liverpool staff decided to play it the way they have. This is right. Burns, McLaughlin, Aspinall. Looking for Clark again. Anderton's hanging behind him. This is McLaughlin. Tries to get Poole in. Oh, return by Barnes. Support from Jones. Running off the ball, Michael Thomas. Well played by Kit Simons. 21-year-old who's just made his debut for Wales. This is Nicol in the follow-up. Michael Thomas well forward again. This is Nicol. Harrison. Now Colin Clark is on the left wing. The pass not angled for him. Is right. Bit tight for Ronnie Whelan, and Martin Cole came in from behind. Seems to have figured in nearly every round for Liverpool in some significant way, and he's there on the touchline asking for the ball again. For the moment it's in with Rush. Now McManaman. Nicol blocked by Burns. There's no question in this opening 20 minutes that Liverpool have been on top. Having said that, Portsmouth did create one good opening. Jones. Header by Simons. This is Thomas. Shakes off McLaughlin, but not Poole. And offside, Colin Clark.
Yeah, very much most of the possession, Liverpool, and Portsmouth having to rely on spasmodic attacks because all of the midfield players are getting pulled back defensively to help out.
Yes, it's a tidal wave that's coming at Portsmouth at the moment. Rush gets it inside to David Burrows. Shot comes off a defender. Houghton is backing up here. And here's Barnes. And Orford saw the danger. It's only with Thomas, though. Wow, Andy Orford there on 20 minutes, making an important interception. 0-0 in the first of today's semi-finals. Clark chasing Nicol. Here's Wright, the Liverpool captain. Jones. Manaman. Foul by Aspinall. They just don't seem to know how to handle him on this side, Portsmouth. Aspinall's challenge this time. It'll be Rob Jones with the free kick. Mark Wright has come forward. There's Barnes. They appeal for a corner, but it's not.
You have to say the free kicks for Liverpool, I mean, they've had a few, have been awful, haven't they? I mean, Jan Mulgrew probably sitting in the stand wondering what he might have done with them, because certainly Ray Houghton then and Rob Jones have all wasted good positions. Just the quality of the crosses have been very poor.
Aspinall to Clark. McLaughlin. Simons. Offside, Clark. Forward by Wright. Header by Beresford. Rush to Jones. Barnes. Rush. Comes back off Simons. Oh, Whelan has caught McLaughlin. That's the second offence for Ronnie Whelan. It has to be a yellow card. It has to be a booking. It was late.
Well, there's no question on that occasion. I don't know why Ronnie Whelan is argued. No ball contact here. Watch to see if he gets the ball. He doesn't look. He was concentrating on getting the man, and I think very fortunate the first tackle wasn't seen, because that was definitely a booking offence as well.
Well, I think the replay said everything about that. Orford takes the free kick. Clark. Away by Nicol. So it's a yellow card for Whelan and a yellow card earlier for Beresford. Fabulous atmosphere. That's Beresford now in attack. Aspinall's made a run past Rob Jones. Clark, oh, he's offside.
Just delayed the pass too long there. It was a good run by Aspinall, and that Beresford there, where he's at his happiest. He played it inside the fullback. When he's going forward, the fullback it looks very impressive. He's just had his hands full with McManaman going the other way, but Aspinall did make a good run inside Jones, but he's just gone offside.
Beresford. Manaman. Jones is waiting for some movement here. This is McManaman. Barnes just inside him here. Back again towards McManaman. Andy Orford got a foot in. That's a corner. Rush has placed the ball for a short one. It's come back to Houghton. Barnes. Whelan. Jones. Mark Wright is the player on the far side there. And Clark had gone back to mark him. The goalkeeper, Alan Knight, has played for Portsmouth in all 4 divisions of the league. He's been there since 1977, London-born. Really deserves this big day. "20 minutes left in the first half. Anderton for Portsmouth. Clark. Cool in a good position here.
Well, they've been certainly outplayed for sort of the first 25 minutes, but they have had a couple of chances there. Difficult one to hit on the half volley like that at an angle, but you know, while they have created 2 openings, I'm sure their supporters are optimistic that they still can come out of this semi-final. At the moment, Graham Souness will be frustrated. His side have played very well up until the penalty area, but the final pass and the final finish haven't been up to scratch.
Yes, that's the measure of it at the moment. This is Burns for Portsmouth, Aspinall, Warren Neal. This is McLaughlin, but it's come back off his shin. He got the throw, though, off Jones, according to... well, the referee gave it that way, and then the linesman flagged for a Liverpool throw. Beresford. Cool. Clark. Wide of him, Warren Neal. Shot struck David Burrows. Cool. Tries to find Neal again. Again, it's Burrows in the way. Whelan. And now it's Barnes. Back on his old left-hand side territory for the moment. Free kick given. Martin calls tackle. Succession of free kicks for Liverpool. Enjoying part of this lovely sporting weekend. Nobody's mentioned the Grand Prix yet either, have they? There's McLaughlin. Clark, oh, that's offside. That's offside, Anderton. There's Uriah Rennie from Sheffield on the line. One or two painted faces behind him from the South Coast.
I don't think they quite agreed with the decision, did they, there, but just fractionally offside. And at the moment, they haven't been able to get Anderton into the game, have they, Portsmouth, like Liverpool have with McManaman?
Well, this is Jones on Liverpool's right now. Burns. Whelan. McManaman. Beresford's coming in behind him. It's still McManaman. It's run on for Thomas. That's a goal kick. Aspinall. Neal. That's not a bad ball. Anderton. 4 waiting in the centre here for Pompey. It's still Anderton. Now it's Neal. And he's away. Clark couldn't get it. And McManaman had to turn it behind. For a corner to Portsmouth.
Best cross of the match so far. That was just made a yard or two of space, and he whipped it in very well, and Liverpool had difficulty dealing with that.
Well, for this corner to be taken by Cool, Kit Simons is up with Burns. Not required. Might be now. Beresford gets it back in. Away by Wright, coming to Neal. And here's Cool! It's the second one he's had on the volley. And they'll look a little bit disappointed down there, because Cool usually hits them bang on target.
Gets a deflection here, you see, off Burrows, wrong foot to Liverpool defence, and just set up, not easy to hit because it's spinning a bit off the defender's head, but one of those chances in a semi-final, you think perhaps later on this evening, I wish I had watched it.
So we have a quarter of an hour left in the first half here at Highbury. It's 0-0. It's Rush on the ball for Liverpool. Now Houghton. There goes Thomas. Beresford across. Awkward bounce. Goodness, it seemed to take ages for Simons to clear it. Was he waiting for Knight to shout? Anyway, here's Wright. Burns. McLaughlin. Cool. Simons again. Wright. Oh, and Anderton came in behind Wright, and Grobbelaar was in charge. Just over the half-hour mark. Well, this is McManaman. And he's really keen to have a go at Beresford. But the ball is out. Highbury clocks is about 1:30, so those of you who may be having your Sunday lunch while you watch the match, I trust you're enjoying it. And for anybody that hasn't been with us all the way through, there was a substitution very early. Chamberlain off on 10 minutes, injury, and Aspinall took his place. When you do have your lunch today, Trevor, do you, if you're at home, I mean, do you have it between the matches? There's not time, is there?
Well, I would have thought both sets of supporters at the moment aren't too worried when they get to eat. If their side gets to Wembley, they'll only enjoy it. At present, though, I mean, Liverpool have most of the play, but Portsmouth occasionally have threatened. Liverpool haven't looked as solid as you would expect at the back, although, of course, one or two people have come back after injury.
Yeah, a long way to go. This is a chance for Burns, but there's nobody up there except Grobbelaar. Burns, number 6. This is Whelan. This is Rush. Oh, nice turn. Whelan again. Upward control from him, and it gives Portsmouth possession. Burns to Clark. McLaughlin's made a run on the far side. That's a great ball by Colin Clark. A masterful pass from McLaughlin. Neal's come up from right back here. Anderton to his right, and that was right. Anderton again. Nichols Meadow. McManaman. And John Barnes striding away on the left, and Warren Neal's out of position. There's a danger here. Simons will have to go across to look at Barnes, and they've got 3 in the middle, and one of them's unmarked. And it was Michael Thomas, and the ball never came. Simons had to go across because there was nobody in the right-back position. And it's going to be a corner for Houghton. Barnes facing the kicker on the 6-yard box. Header out was by Aspinall. This is Whelan. Nicholl. Jones. Barnes in there. And Houghton. Corner again. Played short to Burrows. Back again to Houghton. There's Rush in there. Marked by Clark. Thomas. Michael Thomas. McManaman. Thomas again. And there goes Barnes. Houghton. 5 in the attack for Liverpool here. Barnes goes again towards Houghton. Paul was covering. So 3 corners in rapid succession here for Liverpool. 10 minutes left in the first half. It's been played to Burrows again. McManaman. Interception by Aspinall, but then Houghton. Thomas is offside. Ian Rush, by the way, needs 1 goal in the FA Cup to equal Alan Clark's career total in this competition of 38, and then he'll only be 3 behind the all-time record holder Dennis Law. This is Beresford. Well, that's one way of doing it. Don't think Alan Knight appreciated the scurrying from one side of his penalty area to the other, but Portsmouth have stayed secure.
Yeah, one of those situations where you gradually feel mild panic coming on, but John Beresford got out of it. And, the 2 young centre-backs are doing well, though, Orford and Simons, despite the pressure.
Neil, Nicol, Thomas. Manaman. Got 3 defenders lying in wait for him here, so Rob Jones supports him. Whelan. Barnes makes a darting run across the area. Thomas is there too. But Portsmouth's shape is maintained, and as you said, their young defenders will be reasonably pleased with what they've done in this first half, because although Liverpool have had most of the play, they haven't scored, and Warren Neal, probably the most experienced of the back 4, has helped the others along the way.
And in anything, I mean, Alan Knight hasn't had to make a clear-cut save, and the actual 1 or 2 clearer chances have been Portsmouth, strangely enough.
Yes, that's a fair comparison. This is Whelan, and now Houghton. Nicol. Got a bit of space here. Barnes is on the far side. Neal covered. Aspinall passed it back. Forward by Andy Orford. Whelan to Thomas, to Houghton. Burrows is accelerating to his left here. Still Houghton. And it's Anderton for Portsmouth. Barnes. That's a foul by Neal. Just when Barnes and McManaman have run at Portsmouth that they've looked uncomfortable. But Liverpool have yet to make a free kick pay off. Let's see what happens this time. Conversation between Whelan and 2 other players. Burrows. It's over the head of Michael Thomas. McManaman is coming up behind him now.
The 4 across from Michael Thomas, but again, a bad free kick, deep and beyond everyone. They're usually much more imaginative, Liverpool free kicks, but at present they're playing into Portsmouth's hand, and I think Jim Smith will be quite pleased to have not sort of conceded any early goal to give his side the jitters, and the longer it goes on there, I'm sure he thinks to himself, well, we'll definitely only need that one opening and put it into the net. We could sneak this.
Yes, the feeling at the Portsmouth camp over the last day or 2 has been that they've all been very relaxed about this big day. There's Orford. Poole. Burns. Coming back off Whelan. This is Barnes. Now it's Rush. Danger here. Barnes again. Orford. Foiled Barnes there with 5 minutes left in the first half. In by Neal, this is Anderton and Grobbelaar, look where he is, Aspinall, McLaughlin, oh, a great save! Grobbelaar all over. 1 minute you think he's too far out, and then he pulls off from McLaughlin. A save that bordered on the sensational. Look where he was there, but now look at the recovery. This is fantastic. It's a corner after all that.
Could have been an argument that Darren Anderton standing in front of him was in an offside position. Must have been interfering with the play, but the linesman's flag didn't go up.
Well, he's going to drive the corner with his right foot, Anderton. Simons, McLaughlin, surely. Oh, Clark, Grobbelaar again. Colin Clark must have thought he was about to open the scoring, but this man has had an inspired couple of minutes. The ball fell from McLaughlin here, almost away, did against Forrest. He backheeled it off the line by Houghton, I think, and then grabbed by Grobbelaar from Clark.
There's 2 rebounds off Ray Houghton. First of all off the line, and then on the rebound again, it ended up in Bruce Grobbelaar's arms. A bit of good fortune there for Liverpool, and suddenly the Pompey supporters have come to life as well.
I think one of the cheeky goals of the semi-final if McLaughlin's backheel had gone in. Here's Anderton. Portsmouth suddenly with a flood of confidence here. Clark's in a good position on the far side. Anderton's in there, the flag's up.
Well, definitely the best spell of the game for Portsmouth. And again, I think Graham Perrin, old West Ham colleague of mine there, next to Jim Smith, thinking it to himself, just needed a bit of luck there, didn't we?
The luck was with Liverpool there, but then again, Houghton's on the post to do that sort of thing, and Grobbelaar's there to save them, so it's still 0-0. Funny that, isn't it? In the 6th round, the Forest goalkeeper drops the ball and Portsmouth score, and this time there's a different outcome for McLaughlin. Right. Cool. They're playing some good football now, Portsmouth. This is Neil. McLaughlin, very evident, number 4. And he's forced a corner. Grobbelaar's going through one of those spells that makes you wonder what all the fuss is about, or was about, a week ago. Michael Chance. It's blocked by McLaughlin. This is cool. And Anderson is onside, but Rush is not.
Bruce Grobbelaar deciding not to dribble it out of defence on that occasion and taking it the big welly upfield, but it was an important interception, good run by Anderton, and he did break the Liverpool offside, and it would be in fact Liverpool who were quite pleased, I think, to hear the half-time whistle and reorganise.
Here's Clark in the air for Portsmouth, challenged, offside anyway, the flag up against him, I think, yes, and the underdogs from the 2nd division are within a minute now of going off at half-time 0-0, and if anything, as you say, have looked the more likely scorers in the period leading up to the break. But here come Liverpool with McManaman. You never know in the FA Cup. Houghton starts a run. Neil is the defender. Barnes. Here's Rush. And here's Whelan, saved by Knight, who responds against Whelan in the way that his opposite number, Grobbelaar, did a minute earlier. Good stop here by the 30-year-old Pompey goal. Lovely back heel by Rush, brilliant, and a good, sharp snapshot and an even better save. Stoppage time at the end of the first half. Barnes for Liverpool. In which the excitement has built up gradually, and it's ending on a high note. Here's Thomas. free kick against McManning. We're really playing time that I think Mr. Bodnam has added on for the injury to Mark Chamberlain, which delayed the game for a while. Martin Poole caught in possession by Rush. This is Houghton for Liverpool. Barnes. Rush. Barnes again. Whelan. Burrows. Portsmouth supporters whistling anxiously for half-time. They don't like this. It's all right now.
Well, a period of, 25-30 minutes of Liverpool control. One or two just late passes missing out in the penalty area. And at that stage you felt it was a matter of time perhaps before Liverpool did score. But then Portsmouth got better and better. Had, I think, the better chances in the first half, although not so much of the play. And then good 10-minute spell, that scramble off the line. And now just before half-time, Liverpool coming back. Super semi-final, though. Good end-to-end stuff.
Mr. Brookings summing up of the first half, which cannot have much longer to run now. We've been playing about 2 minutes of stoppage time. It's Ronnie Whelan, and there is the whistle, and Portsmouth, who had to replace Chamberlain after only 10 minutes, have done themselves justice in this opening period. Souness and Liverpool go off knowing they're in a real match here, which is what they expected. As Trevor said, there were opportunities in both penalty areas, but Grobbelaar goes off, having saved Liverpool twice in a matter of a minute in one of the most exciting phases of a first half, which ends in the sunshine with Liverpool the favourites and Portsmouth of the second division at 0-0.
Well, I would guess that you're enjoying it, because we are, but Liverpool began really well, didn't they? And then sort of faded a bit.
They started too well, and when you start like that, you've really got to score. And to be fair, Portsmouth had the better chances in the first half. They've had at least 5 good chances. And the Liverpool defences look very fragile when the ball's come into the box, but super game.
The Portsmouth defence looked a little rocky to begin with. Did you think, Jim?
Yes, it did. McManaman was destroying them early on, and it just shows that if you just look for the space behind someone, lick them, it causes problems for any defensive system in the world. You know, there's space then, and Liverpool didn't take advantage of it. And of course, you know, I think Portsmouth should be satisfied with every aspect of their play, except their finishing. They've really let themselves down. They could have knocked Liverpool out already, you know, and haven't done it.
I'm surprised that at Liverpool, like you say, McMahon in the first 20 minutes looked like a world beater. And when somebody's playing as well as that, what you do is you just give them the ball. And he really has drifted in and out.
Especially as the fullback's got a booking.
The fullback's got a booking, and you know, every time McMahon goes past him, you'll be watching in case he brings him down, because he'll be.
They're a very sporting side, Liverpool. They wouldn't do a thing like that. You know, knowing the player's got a booking. I mean, that just shows what sportsmen they are.
Let's look at one or two of the incidents of that first half again, and start with that Ray Houghton chance, which was right near the beginning of the half. Alan?
Yeah, Liverpool started well, and McMahon gets to the byline here, and he puts in a good cross. And it's a little race coming at the back post. Actually, Warren Neal does pretty well there to get up and make a challenge. But you feel as though if it had been Barnes coming at the back post, you know,
give Ray credit. He stretched himself as much as it's possible. Look at him.
But Warren Neal does well.
Yeah.
Then the next effort was McLaughlin's, who's played a pretty prominent role, hasn't he?
Yeah, this was a good chance here. Clark does well to nod the ball down. And I don't know where the Liverpool defence are. And maybe his first touch wasn't the best, but that was probably the best chance in the first 20 minutes, even although, as we said, Liverpool had all the pressure.
Same opportunity.
This is Neil. He puts in the free kick. Ronnie Whelan goes for it, and Clark knocks it down. But, I mean, he's open 6 yards out. Where are the Liverpool defence? And really, he should hit the target there from that situation.
What have you thought of Anderton in this half so far?
I thought he was in and out. I mean, you know, he really hasn't touched the ball that much. He's chased back a couple of times, but Portsmouth are back in the game, and really he can show his skills in the second half. He's got everything to play for.
Cool had an opportunity after that for
Yes,
Portsmouth.
he did indeed, and really it was a very good opportunity. In fact, he had 2. This was one of them. Ball coming over, and just a volley. Look at that, he scooped it.
Noble opportunity, wasn't it?
And I mean, it's not that he hasn't got that kind of skill, he has.
But there's so much space in the box.
Look, that was a real scoop over the top.
But that's
the one thing you have to do is to keep a shot like that down.
That's
Yeah,
to
you
do
get it
with
at the time.
nerve, though, isn't it? Semi-final, big occasion, chance to put your name in the record books.
Well, they mustn't be ashamed what they've done up to now, but I mean, you know, if they don't win the match, those players are going to look at replays of those chances and think what might have
Well,
been.
in the first 20 minutes you would have thought that Liverpool were going to cakewalk it the way they were playing, but credit to Portsmouth, they've come right back.
Let's have a quick look at the next incident we're about
Another
to show, which is
moment
McLaughlin, who of course got them to this stage in the last match.
We were saying, this
And
is
here's
Bruce,
Bruce.
has come out, hasn't quite got it. Everything happens here. Look, a flat with his left hand, look, and a flat with his right hand. Nobody sleeps when Bruce is in a game, do they?
It's
I mean, either
spectacular
his
stuff.
defence...
It was typical Bruce, wasn't he? He was out of position.
Yeah.
He comes back into position, the ball goes on the side of him, and in the end he makes a fabulous save to get it over the top.
A little pirouette in the middle as well.
Yeah, he had a little pirouette in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, we've got to go to the news in a minute, but we'll be right back with you in 2 or 3 minutes from now, okay?
London's Marathon, a cast of thousands. Coverage begins next Sunday morning, 8:55 on BBC One.
And now on BBC One, here are the afternoon's news headlines with Chris Lowe.
Good afternoon. John Major has said Neil Kinnock does not have the judgment to be Prime Minister. He says he's changed his mind on important issues too often. Mr Kinnock says it's grown up to admit mistakes, and if the government had done that, they wouldn't have wasted £14 billion on the poll tax. Paddy Ashdown has also attacked Mr Kinnock over his views on proportional representation.
The Liberal Democrat leader has been rehearsing for his party's last election broadcast, which rehearses the argument for a deal in a hung parliament.
That you want people to work together and to use their common sense, new people, providing new hope. That's a good line, that, actually.
Mr Ashdown claims that a deal could be done because a majority of the shadow cabinet and of ordinary Labour Party members now want proportional representation. He says it's now up to Mr Kinnock to make his own view clear, which he hasn't done so far.
I think that falls well below the standards of leadership which ought to be required for a nation which is facing the economic difficulties we are having at present and the real issue of fair votes and constitutional change for Britain.
On TVAM's Frost on Sunday programme, John Major warned the electorate of sleepwalking towards polling day. He said there were golden prospects for Britain if Labour didn't win. He said Mr Kinnock had been wrong about Europe and defence. He could be wrong again.
I think his judgment is not good enough to be Prime Minister. And I think one looks at what has happened in the past. A Prime Minister's judgment isn't just on day-to-day matters. It's on things that will have an impact years later.
That view was backed in the Mail on Sunday this morning by the former leader of the SDP.
You're choosing a Prime Minister, you're choosing somebody, their judgment. And in my view, the judgment between these two men favours very strongly John Major.
But Neil Kinnock, speaking on BBC TV's On the Record programme, argued that it was rational and grown up to admit one's mistakes.
The thing to do when you discover that you're in error is to get it right. If the government had done that, then they wouldn't have spent £14 billion on poll tax. I've changed my mind, I've changed my party's policy, and it hasn't cost the taxpayer a penny.
And your word is,
my boss.
Trust me, the economy is safe in my hands.
The economy and the people. Safer, because we'll get growth, we'll build Britain, and we'll get social justice as well.
Labour believe their stress on their team and what they think is people's desire for a change of government will neutralise any attacks on Mr Kinnock's competence.
3 young people, including 2 sisters, died when the car they were in collided with a train on an unmanned level crossing near Doncaster. 2 other passengers, also in their 20s, were seriously hurt.
The accident happened just before midnight last night. British Transport Police say that the car hit the side of the train after being driven around one of the crossing's half barriers. The car driver and 2 passengers were killed instantly. 2 other passengers were critically injured. The train driver was treated for shock. The empty passenger train was travelling between Goole and Doncaster. British Rail says that at least 30 seconds would have elapsed from the moment the train triggered visible and audible alarms to its arrival at the crossing.
The checks have been carried out on both the crossing lights and the actual barriers that we have at the crossing, and they have been found to be in perfect working order.
The accident happened just before midnight last night. British Transport Police say that the car hit the side of the train after being driven around one of the crossing's half barriers. The car driver and 2 passengers were killed instantly. 2 other passengers were critically injured. The train driver was treated for shock. The empty passenger train was travelling between Goole and Doncaster. At least 30 seconds would have elapsed from the moment the train triggered visible and audible alarms to its arrival at the crossing. The check's have been carried out on both the crossing lights and the actual barriers that we have at the crossing, and they have found, been found to be in perfect working order. British Rail is still investigating the incident and will send a report to the Department of Transport.
The Israeli Foreign Minister David Levy has patched up his differences with the Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir and cancelled his threat to resign. The row was part of a power struggle that could have split the ruling Likud party. David Levy has now been promised he'll stay on as Foreign Minister and Deputy Prime Minister if Likud win June's general election. His supporters will get an extra cabinet post and a bigger say in party committees. That's it. More news at 6:25.
A murder mystery proves far from academic.
There has to be a connection.
Everything's gone according to plan. Don't talk.
I can't get it out of my head.
What the hell do you think you're playing at?
Were you disturbed by anyone while you were there?
They won't talk unless he talks first. I didn't kill him.
This business, it isn't a problem in semantics. You can't crack it simply by applying your mind.
I can try.
Murder with a masculine ending, next Sunday at 7:45 on 1.
Welcome back to Highbury, FA Cup semi-final day. It's Portsmouth 0, Liverpool 0 at half-time, and we were discussing the merits and demerits of Grobbelaar.
Well, to be fair, he's kept them in the game, hasn't he? He made a couple of super saves.
This was the one we saw before the break there. Now look,
he's out.
Have a little dance here.
Yeah.
There we go.
The arm comes up. But he does well to get back into his goals. And I mean, that's a reflex.
Yeah.
But
we should put that
and then
to
the
music.
follow-up back into the back of the net. That's
It would go well to music.
It would do,
Swan
yes.
Lake,
We'll probably
like
do it. Here's the next one. He's back in action almost straight away after that.
Yes, this is McLaughlin's back heel, wasn't it? It was very neat, that. Quick thinking.
What a goal.
It actually beat Bruce, but of course he doesn't like to be out of the action, so he's come back and collected the ball and said, what are you all doing in my 6-yard box?
It was Ray Houghton back on the line there.
Ray Houghton does well to get off the line, but Liverpool must be worried because, as I said, every time the ball comes into the box, they look very vulnerable.
They've sort of lost themselves in the last quarter of an hour there, Jim.
Yes, I just feel that Portsmouth haven't got their deserts, and Liverpool have got away with it. You know, and that now they will come back and win the game. If they don't, I mean, there will be questions asked for the next 6 months, because they should be superior to this Portsmouth side, I think. You know, on form, status.
Right before the half finished, Ronnie Whelan had a good chance for Liverpool.
Yeah, yes, good play. It was Barnes plays into rush and he holds it up well. And this is a good back heel. And Whelan arrives late and he gets through. And he hits it first time left foot, and it's a great save from the goalkeeper. But Beresford does well to get...
He's hardly been in the match night, actually, in the Portsmouth goal.
That was the first time he had a chance to let anybody know he was there, which gives you, you know, the whole pattern of the first half. Portsmouth really dominated the chances, were unlucky, probably will suffer from it later on, but we'd still like to see him score the first goal, Des, wouldn't we?
Well, I think we'd like to see anybody score a first goal, but remember there's extra time in the semi-final if it's still a draw at full time. Let's hear what Gary Stevens has to say about the ex-Portsmouth and England player. He's with Ray Stubbs.
Well, there were some knowing glances from the Portsmouth players to you as they came past. What do you think they make of all that?
Well, they were smiling as they came off, some of them. Yes, I would think that their confidence must have grown. They came here confident, and that's helped them no end. And I think it's the fact that the way they've set out their game plan, which was to really try to deny Liverpool some of their attacking talents. Warren Aspinall's come on the left side in place of Mark Chamberlain, and he's really denied the supply of ball to McManaman. I think that's worked very well. And Anderton has stopped Burrows getting forward too.
And then they got forward and some great chances towards the end.
Yes, good chances, and I think you'd have to say that really Liverpool could be out of the game now if only Portsmouth had managed to stick those chances away. Great opportunities, and you felt that maybe they snatched at them a little bit. Maybe that was nerves. Maybe this first half's over now and they can settle down a bit.
Well, you know Jim Smith. What will he be saying now?
I would think that he'll be going bananas in there, in fact. He's an excitable guy, but he'll have to try to calm them down because I think they must believe they've got a great chance now.
Thanks very much, Gary.
That's Ray and Gary. Do you think that they'll settle down, Portsmouth, in the second half, or do you think those opportunities might not come again, Jim?
I think they might be cooler, as Gary says, to take chances if they come their way. The laws of football are such that it doesn't often strike twice like that. I hope they do make some other chances, and Liverpool too. But I should be surprised if Liverpool allow them that scope in the second half.
Alan?
Yeah, I think they've been happy getting that amount of chances in 90 minutes, never mind 45. I think what you'll find Liverpool will do is they've got to come out and push up a bit further, because every time it does go in the box, that's when they're in trouble.
Well, it's a wonderful day here, and it's a wonderful day especially for the Portsmouth fans. Let's rejoin John Watson.
And as you do rejoin me, a spot of news for you. David Burrows has a hamstring injury, and Barry Venison, number 14, is on for Liverpool. He will play in the right-back position, and Rob Jones has switched to left-back. Unless I'm mistaken, that happened in the last round against Aston Villa when Burrows wasn't available. I've seen Jones play on the left before anyway. And Liverpool then are forced into a substitution, just as Portsmouth were in the first half. Venison, who scored in the midweek win over Notts County. And it's Portsmouth to start the second half, playing from left to right. There's Jones, number 2, who switched sides, and his first touch helped by Nicol.
Yeah, he played and marked Tony Daly very well that day, didn't he? He looked quite accomplished, although he's naturally right-footed. It might be interesting to see if Darren Anderton can just test him out, but as I say, he's looked such a good fullback, I think he'll adapt with no problem.
Here's Venison. What a bad ball, and it was Alford that went across to intercept from McManaman. And here's McManaman again, trying to turn them. Beresford on the chase here. And still McManaman. That's Houghton, and deflected for a corner.
Well, they haven't wasted any time in feeding Steve McManaman early in the second half, and I'm sure, as Alan and Jimmy were talking, that must be figured in the half-time team talk.
So a corner to Liverpool. Houghton to take it. Wright is forward. And Clark's with him. Still Wright. Thomas. Jones. Whelan. Into Barnes. Comes back off Neil. It's still Barnes. This is Thomas. Oof, headed away by Orford. Comes out to Venison. Houghton again. McManaman. Oof, rough and tumble on the far side. McManaman's gone down quite heavily. Ball played forward. It was John Beresford who challenged him, number 3, and McManaman remains down as play goes on. And it's with Rob Jones at the minute, but Liverpool are watching that situation on the far side very carefully. He's back on his feet now and has hobbled to the touchline. This is Barnes. And it's Rush. Now then, McManaman's got his arm if he wants to come back on.
Yeah, I thought he tried to play a 1-2, and you can see he's holding his chest and stuff. He just got balked and winded more than anything, and just had a breather, I think. But as you can see, Ray Houghton has possession, plays it out wide, and Steve McManaman touches it in and goes for the return, and I think he just catches the elbow and arm of Beresford, and as I say, just loses his wind for a sec.
Meantime, it's Portsmouth on the attack with Warren Neal. Jones. Oh, he's given it away, but Whelan is there to intercept, and Thomas links up. Now it's Burns for Portsmouth. Shakes off Whelan. Neal. Fouled by Houghton. It's quite a determined start to the second half by Liverpool. And now it's Portsmouth's turn to show us what they can do. Aspinall in there. Here's Thomas. Not a good ball by him. Beresford. Number 12, Aspinall. Clark waiting in the centre, being joined now by McLaughlin. Number 4. Shaken off by Whelan. Houghton, who's playing, there's been a switch here in the second half at the moment. Houghton's playing more inside. Here's McManaman. Russian Barnes waiting in the centre. And up comes Jones from fullback. Headed out by Simons as far as Houghton. Now it's Thomas, and now Jones. And Barnes, who's playing more on the left at the moment. Jones. This is Whelan, it's opened up a bit here. And he's chipped it through, and it's McManaman offside. Yes. Steve McManaman there is playing his 50th first-team game of the season today. Who would have thought that when he started the season as a 19-year-old? And he's really grown as a first-team player in a season when the Liverpool camp has been so heavily hit by injuries. This is right. It's going to go to Anderton. Oh, McLaughlin was coming in. Good header by Wright. This is Beresford. Plays it to Burns. Now Aspinall. And Beresford's there again. Corner. Good attack by Portsmouth. McLaughlin at the heart of it. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Martin Cool to take the corner. McLaughlin is on the line with Grobbelaar. Aspinall in the 6-yard area. Clark, Burns and Simons wait to come from deeper. That goes right with Burns. McManaman. Free kick. Cool's tackle.
But it is a plus that Jim Smith's made Graham Souness change his tactics. The fact that Portsmouth play with 5 in the middle. Alan McLaughlin withdrawn in that role, and he's pulled Ray Houghton in to help Ronnie Whelan and Michael Thomas in that central midfield. And so Ian Rush now sort of playing alone for up front and relying on Barnes and McManaman particularly from wide positions, but one of those 3 central midfielders then having to join him.
Yes, it's a compliment to Portsmouth, and they've had to change their formation, Liverpool. Here's Whelan. It's Jones. Barnes wasn't expecting that, and it was an offside flag anyway against Colin Clark. Advantage applied. Venison. McManaman. Space here for Warren Neal, and they've got 3 coming in. Portsmouth, if he can get the ball in, but Nicol blocked it. Here's McLaughlin. This is Neal, and Barnes blocks the route to Anderton. Still it's Neal. Still they wait for a cross. When it comes, it's cleared by Nicol to Thomas. Now Beresford. Aspinall in a good position, number 12. Now Clark's onside. Here comes Grobbelaar. Neal. Nicol and Wright are being tested by these diagonal balls, searching out Clark and McLaughlin. Forward at the moment for Liverpool. There might be now with Barnes. Rush was second to that. Simons in quickly, offside Clark. Again the referee. I'm impressed with the way Martin Bodnam doesn't see fit to stop the game every time his linesman flags. It's really good to see it moving on when there's no need to award the free kick. Here's Jones. Barnes. Thomas. Still Thomas, and good clearance, Andy Orford. Venison. Jim Smith has never been to a semi-final before in the FA Cup as a manager. 20 years, that is, in the management game. Second only to Brian Clough. And on his big day, his team so far, Trevor, are doing him proud.
Well, they are. He's obviously feeling the cold a bit second half, Jim. He's put his hat on, but must be pleased because at present, a slight lull in the game. No chances now either end of the second half, but the fact that Liverpool have changed them tactically seems to have found perhaps they've lost their rhythm a bit going forward, Liverpool. They're not looking as smooth because they're having to help out defensively as well, and at the moment you can just sense the Portsmouth crowd and Portsmouth themselves having that bit of extra relief, I think.
Well, Mr. Souness bowed his head when that last defensive error gave Portsmouth some territorial advantage. Here's Anderton, and this is a good run by Neil. And Burns waits, Aspinall comes in, Beresford. Oh, the whistle's gone. Foul on Barry Venison. Actually, John Barnes it was who gave the ball away in that last attack. There's the situation with 55 minutes gone here at Highbury, and the first of the day's FA Cup semi-finals. It's Liverpool 0, Second Division Portsmouth 0, and it's finally balanced. This is Barnes. Venison. McManaman, a good piece of skill. But where's it going to lead to? It's going to lead to Whelan. And then to Jones. Barnes. Thomas. Jones driven far too wide, but he's found Venison. Liverpool pushing and probing. Houghton looks for Rush. Pompey hold firm. Barnes still trying to get into the game as an attacking force. Here's Whelan. Forward by Venison. Rush is there. Portsmouth are marking Rush and Barnes really well at the moment. Mind you, you only need to make one mistake. Here's Beresford. And Bobbelard comes to meet Clark. Oh, I say a stylish header there, sir. He'll be playing centre-half next week if he keeps doing that. Second thoughts he won't. This is Neil. Clark. Little header on, and Venison comes round to cover. Then Jones. Pompey crowd see a chance here for their team to press forward. It's cool. And on the far side, Aspinall. And right across the 6-yard box, and neither Clark nor Anderton were quite far enough forward. Promising stuff from the Second Division team. And their fans seem to sense this could be their moment. It's Anderton with the throw. McLaughlin. Anderton's cross. Clark burns, so it was a chance. It came at him so quickly, didn't it?
Well, so quick. He needed a bit more hair as well, didn't he, there, Chris Burns? Because it was a good touch on, as you saw, by Colin Clark. A good spell this by Portsmouth. Darren Anderton, good two-footed player. Cross with his left foot, the faintest of touches. He did see it late, Burns. But Liverpool being pushed back, losing their rhythm, and Portsmouth, as say, growing in assurance.
Well, Chris Burns was working on a building site a year ago and playing for Cheltenham in the conference, and now here he is in an FA Cup semi-final. Absolutely unreal year for him. And he had an opening there which perhaps passed him by before he'd realised it. Here's Ronnie Whelan. And now McManaman up against Orford. Orford's injury has held up well, and he's covered extremely competently, he and Simons there. sometimes stretched to cover the fullbacks, but they've managed it. And it's a free kick against him here, to be taken by Venison. Mark Wright on his way forward now. There's Barnes. Here's Thomas. And again, really, you have to say the free kick wasn't a very good one, Trevor.
No, it was a scuff free kick, wasn't it? It sort of varied the kicker as well. I mean, Venison now on took that particular one. I must say, you know, when you think of some of the games, I mean, Genoa game, Mulby, his free kicks and his creative passing, they do seem to be missing him on that sort of flair, and at the moment give the ball away a little bit too much, unlike a Liverpool side, and perhaps he's just gone for a bit of more competitiveness today, Graham Souness.
15 minutes gone in the second half, so Portsmouth can say that for an hour they were every bit as good as Liverpool, and their fans seem to be reflecting that. This is Burns. Nicol. Now Barnes again. Back comes Anderton to make it difficult. Jones. Whelan. Thomas. Barnes. Thomas. Good passing by Liverpool until it reached Jones. This is Nicol. And the block is by Anderton. They'll wait for Jones to take the throw. Houghton. Challenged by Clark. This is Whelan. Ian Rush there was furious, but he made a lovely little run and span away from his marker, and he wasn't seen by Whelan. Look at that. I've got yards of space, he said. And in fairness, from here he had. And it was cleared in the end by Jones. Simons waits a bit for Orford and rushes in, and McManaman's there too, and Beresford. Again, good cover about Portsmouth, isn't there? The centre-backs were still arguing between themselves. Beresford sorted it all out for them.
Good defence, Nigel Beresford. First time Simons and Orford have just hesitated 1 second in a semi-final. That can be costly. But those two young defenders have done exceptionally well so far.
Here's Clark. Nicol hesitated then. Jones cleared. Houghton's header. And now it's Thomas. Charging forward with Rush just alongside him here. And it goes back to Thomas again. And a good, solid challenge by Orford. On Thomas. He's seen everything back there, has the 19-year-old. No nerves at all, it would seem. Rob Jones has placed the ball. Wright gets up, and it's going to come to Venison to volley. No, referee has seen something in there. It's a free kick to Portsmouth. Alan Knight, I think, may have been impeded. He's holding his shoulder, and the referee, even before the crowd had got the roar out of their throats, had signalled that Barry Venison's effort wouldn't count.
As you can see, comes to get the cross, and it was Mark Wright who elbowed and blocked him off. Barry Venison, sweet strike, all to no avail, because the referee did blow up quite early.
Yes, as you say, it was Mark Wright on the goalkeeper, wasn't it? So, there's still a lot to come here, I'm sure. This semi-final threatening to build to quite a crescendo of noise, as well as what may happen playing-wise. Graham Souness looking anxious. Here's Nicol. Barnes. Poole is up with Thomas. It's fallen well for Barnes. This is Venison. Tucks it into McManaman. And Simons just hesitated a moment, and Knight had to come out at McManaman's feet.
Simons knew what he was doing there. He let it run, but I think Alan Knight was a little bit late seeing that he'd let the ball run, and that just gave everyone a little missed heartbeat.
Anderton for Portsmouth. Clark. That's right. Cool. Burns. And Rob Jones. Anderton. He's forced the corner. McLaughlin's thinking about a short one here from Anderton, but he's checked. And Burns and Simons have come up. Ian Rush has come back. Martin Cool, 20 minutes gone in the second half of the semi-final. Liverpool 0, Portsmouth 0. Cool, the Portsmouth captain, fouled by Rush. Free kick. And a bit of anger involving Cool and Ronnie Whelan. Cool throws the ball at Rush. I have to say that Liverpool did delay Cool's opportunity to take the quick free kick. That's what angered him. And Ian Rush, who committed the foul, is having a bit of a face-to-face with the Portsmouth captain. Martin Bodnam, who has controlled the game with quiet efficiency, wants a word with both players. So that sorted that out. It's a free kick to Pompey. 65 minutes gone. Played short to Warren Neal. Right again in the air, back in by Cool. Clark closes in with Grobbelaar, who takes it well. And that's the throw that has set Liverpool off on so many attacks. Not so much today, perhaps, but it's a typical throw out by Grobbelaar to Barnes. Houghton makes the forward run here. Ooh, it was a lovely little idea. But Knight saw Barnes shape up to pass that ball, and he cut it out from Houghton. McLaughlin came back off his heels. Aspinall, and they've got round the back. It's Clark. Burns is in the middle, so is Aspinall. That's Anderton's cross. Aspinall!
Well, I didn't quite catch it as he would have liked. I think it was, he kept it low, bit of a bobbler. Darren Anderton's cross getting the deflection off Ronnie Whelan just gives Aspinall half a chance. Bruce Grobbelaar always going to save that. He shouldn't have let that one in.
The point we must make is that Grobbelaar has had far more in the way of shots to save than Alan Knight, which says something about his performance and about that of Portsmouth. They've really had a go, the second division side here. Aspinall again. He looks for Clark. Anderton in the centre, right the defender. Free kick to Liverpool.
Good saving tackle by Mark Wright. His hamstrings held up quite well, and he's been important because Liverpool stages have been pinned back. And although they've had a bit more possession in the last few minutes, still not playing as well as they can.
Here's Barnes. Rush comes hurtling in. There's Rush! And somehow the defender, I think it was Andy Orford again, got there. Touched back by McLaughlin to Cool. Now it's Burns. Harassed by Michael Thomas. Martin Bodnam says play on. Cool again to Clark. It can't go back because Rush is there. Simons. Anderton. Cool to McLaughlin. Cool again. Good play by Portsmouth. Burns. And they found Neal. 6 passes here. Clark's coming in on the near post. And the header out by Nicol. Simons, and onside is it? Clark. Liverpool were looking, there was no flag. Anderton. This is Aspinall. Burns. Good header right. Back by Beresford to Aspinall. And it can break any way here, and it's broken for McManaman. It's 2 against 2. McManaman and Rush against the centre-backs. And Michael Thomas is coming up on the outside. And Alan Knight, a great save.
Great courage there, the goalkeeper. Good run by Michael Thomas. He must have run 50, 60 yards to get outside McManaman. Just far enough ahead of him, though, to give Knight the chance to come out.
Houghton. All in the way. That was a thrilling piece of football. Portsmouth were on the attack 1 minute, and then Liverpool were driving to the heart of their defence at the other end. Alan Knight called upon there to distinguish himself, as Grobbelaar has earlier. This is Jones. Barnes. This is Houghton. I'm not quite sure why this is still 0-0, because there's nothing cagey or sterile about this semi-final. Nicol. There are 20 minutes left in the second half. Bear in mind, we do have extra time today if the match is a draw after 90 minutes. But what we don't have is a penalty shootout, because this would go to a replay, if necessary, at Villa Park on Monday week. That's all in the future. This was the present. McManaman just finding Michael Thomas. This is where Alan Knight gets his angle absolutely spot on and spreads himself to make the save. Jones. And here's Barnes. Trying to shake off Cool. And then going for a swinger to the far side.
Barnes just had to whip it in without looking up, and Portsmouth held the line well on the 18-yard box, and I think McManaman might have been offside anyway. But of course now with just under 20 minutes to go, I'm sure both managers realise that a mistake at this stage now could cost them that final place.
Well, those young players of Portsmouth have really acquitted themselves on the big stage today. I was just thinking what a series of great prospects they've got there. This is Beresford. That's a bit heavy. It was Ray Houghton on Warren Aspinall. And Beresford takes the free kick. Venison with the challenge. McManaman with Rush, the only man really ahead of him. It goes square to Barnes. Now Rush. He's got Houghton in support. Venison to McManaman. Little deflection, it's still McManaman. Burns gets a tackle in here. Now it's Whelan. Jones wants it on this side. It's Nicol for the moment. Now it's Jones. Going at them a bit here, Rob Jones. Whelan. He switches play again. This is Barnes. Oh, great skill by Barnes. And Knight grabs it at the near post. And that was perhaps the first sustained flash of vintage Barnes we've seen today. He took two of them on and then hit the line.
Found himself against two forwards there, Clark and Anderton. Tried to go outside Warren Neal, who did just enough to force him along the goal line, and Knight in a good position yet again.
So Barnes gets his breath back, and Liverpool start all over again. Hasn't been easy for them in the FA Cup this season. They were taken to replays by two other second division teams, Bristol Rovers and Ipswich. Now it's Portsmouth who are making life awkward for the cup favourites. Forward by Venison. Hooked away by Orford. Interception of Venison's pass, and Liverpool at times not quite themselves with the flow of their play, but now it's Barnes. Houghton. Orford again gets in front of Rush. Relishing the challenge. Jones. Whelan. Cross to right. Now, chance for him to come forward. How far will he go? Well, quite a long way. In fact, he's down the right wing now. Rush in the middle, so is Thomas. Still right. Venison. There's Rush. It's going to come to Barnes. But Anderton had him in his sights. McLaughlin. Neil. Clark in the centre-forward position. 3 others up. That's for Anderton. And Jones gets a foot in. 2 20-year-olds there. Rob Jones, who's played for England, and Darren Anderton, who might do one day. Here he is now. That's Anderton's cross, and it's easy for the goalkeeper. So, at the moment, we are 15 minutes away from the possibility of extra time in the first FA Cup semi-final. It's 0-0 between Liverpool and Portsmouth. This is Barnes. Rush, Houghton is following up. McManaman. It's a corner. I'm not sure it was going in, actually, but Knight is taking no chances, and he turned it round from McManaman. Jones to take the corner. Thomas comes towards him. Clark away from right. Houghton back to Whelan. As the penalty area clears, it's Nicol. And Colin Clark doing defensive duty there for Portsmouth, because he has in Liverpool, of course, corners and free kicks. This is Barnes. Oh, Mr. Bodnan intercepted a pass meant by Barnes for Thomas, and luckily for him, perhaps, the offside flag was up as Portsmouth threatened to break away.
And lucky there, Aspinall, because it was Darren Anderton just coming out who was offside, not Aspinall coming from deep. But Liverpool beginning to start to control the game more and build up play. Still can't create the clear-cut opening, though, and Portsmouth, I'm sure, as they did in the first half, quite happy to soak up the pressure as they are.
I think one of the reasons is the job that Orford has done on Rush. I mean, Rush is looking for every opportunity, but Simons and Orford keep shutting him out. Here's McManaman. And still. And there's Rush, and there's Knight, he's lost it! Rush! Foul, surely, on the keeper. Or was it offside, even? Offside, I think. It's not going to be a goal anyway. It's not going to be a goal. Now, here's McManaman. Rush is the player in the middle. Well, a scramble, and he gets the ball in the net, but the flag was certainly up. Was there an offside there as Rush went in, or was it a foul on Knight? Either way, you could argue it through. It's not going to count. Trevor?
I think it was more the offside initially, and probably, I'm sure Alan Knight would be pleased to see, because it would have been an unfortunate way to lose a semi-final, just for it to squeeze under as Ian Rush came in. But the linesman then stood his ground, and the referee rightly gave the free kick, I think.
Houghton, outside in his Barnes. Manaman's got his arm up on the far side. This is Whelan. Liverpool pressing it forward now. And again it's Orford. This time marking Thomas. This now is McManaman. Simons picks up Rush. Thomas again. Orford. This is where against Liverpool you just have to keep your shape and your attention to detail, because they'll just go on relentlessly examining this Portsmouth defence. Venison. Hooked in by Ronnie Whelan. Barnes gets underneath it, so does Anderton to clear. That's not a bad little ball if Warren Neal can collect it properly. Barnes is the defender there. Then Jones. It spoons off towards Nicol, who gets it back from right. Good passing. Houghton, Whelan. Jones, Barnes. But Portsmouth have still got people behind the ball. Jones again. Mountain. Whelan. Barnes. Whelan again. McManaman against Beresford. Still McManaman. It's a great run. Houghton's there.
He's definitely been the pick of Liverpool, hasn't he? Steve McManaman looked outstanding today. Every time he's got the ball, I think most Portsmouth supporters get worried.
Minutes remaining of the 90. This is Houghton for Liverpool. They're very much on top now. McManaman. Whelan to Barnes. Chipped in, but too far for Michael Thomas. Gratefully accepted by Alan Knight.
Portsmouth just a little bit wearily coming out now. They're just getting him back, and they can't get the numbers up now to support Colin Clark. It's dangerous just to sit and defend this last 10 minutes, I think.
Well, you think of semi-finals gone by, and you know that just one moment can mean the difference between going to Wembley and not going. And certainly Simons, who at the moment is marking Rush very closely, is signalling to the other defenders not to lose their concentration at this point in the afternoon. Because Liverpool know all about driving on into the 90th minute. Here's Barnes. That's out. Rob Jones, good play. Comes off Neil. Houghton. Awkward one for Jones, that. Liverpool were taken to extra time by Ipswich in the replay at Anfield. Will they be taken to extra time by Portsmouth? This is White. Forward by Venison. He's found Michael Thomas. Burns is the Portsmouth player, but he's given it straight to Whelan. It's Michael Thomas again. And now Beresford gets back. Knight at the feet of Rush. Orford's got Rush behind him here, and he and Simons just... Orford saying to Simons, you should have hooked it upfield. In fact, he's put it out for a throw. And it's Thomas to Venison. And again. Barnes accepts the cross. Houghton. Houghton again! It almost opened up for Ray Houghton there. Warren Neal. Fine piece of defending at the last.
A great bit of defending, not only at the last when he kept his composure, but the first interception, because it was a lovely little touch there by Barnes to try and find Houghton. He would have been clear, but just the toe end of Warren Neal saved the day.
Clark. And McLaughlin sees Neal coming forward. There are plenty of Portsmouth players in this attack. Rob Jones has just kept the ball in, according to linesman Wigginson. And this is Houghton. Whelan's made a run to the left. Rush, Thomas and McManaman the other way. Here's Rush. Rush takes the throw himself. Barnes. Whelan. And it's Jones now as Rush goes back inside. Thomas. Thomas's shot, oh, and it bisected the gap between the post and McManaman, who was rushing in, hoping to get a touch on it.
Good ball from John Barnes. Just got the wrong side there of Cool. Not sure if it was a shot, was there? A little cross across the face of the goal. McManaman was in, wasn't he? But the last few minutes, Portsmouth just hanging on a little bit, and almost total Liverpool pressure. But if they can just get to the final whistle, and perhaps then Jim Smith and Portsmouth can reorganise a little bit. At the moment, they're hanging on.
There's Clark. This is Cool. Aspinall up there. Foul by Mark Wright. Free kick to Portsmouth. Well, that will give them a chance at least to get into Liverpool's half for a little while. 5 minutes away from extra time. Free kick to Pompey. Taken by Cool. There's Kit Simons. It comes out to John Barnes in the left-back position. And here's Jones, who is the left-back. Barnes looks for Rush. Simons header back. Aspinall to Neil. Nicol across to challenge Anderton. Oh, he's play on. Is it an advantage? It is. It's Clark. Great refereeing that, you know. The linesman was flagging furiously to give the free kick when Anderton was clearly impeded. But the referee saw that Portsmouth were in an advantageous position here, and he allowed Anderton to go on, and Colin Clark scooped it over the bar.
Difficult one to hit. That's hardest probably for any striker. But you said the referee played well. Anderton got to his feet quickly. Just perhaps dragged the cross a little bit behind. And Clark hit the ball just behind him as it's coming across you. Very difficult, and so I wouldn't criticise him for that miss. If it had gone in, it would have been a bit special. But it was another chance, wasn't it, I suppose?
Here's McManaman. Beresford. Houghton for Liverpool. McManaman. Beresford left, stumbling a bit. Free the other way for Liverpool. McManaman. Houghton miscued it completely. Comes off Warren Neal to Whelan. And now it's Barnes. Thomas. Good challenge by Kit Simons. Now Clark to Cool. And they want to try and get Anderton free on this side. Jones prevents that. Venison and Aspinall. And Aspinall's beaten him. McLaughlin to Beresford. Pompey come forward now again. Beresford takes on Venison, who gets the tackle in. It's a throw on the far side with less than 3 minutes of the normal period remaining, and Portsmouth pushing forward. I think there's going to be a substitution on the far side before anything else happens. Liverpool are preparing Mike Marsh to replace Ray Houghton. Well, we'll check on the reason for that in a minute, but it's a throw to Pompey meantime. Away by Wright, not too convincingly. Going to be John Beresford with this throw. This is an anxious position for Liverpool. If he can put it on the head of Burns for the flick on. Robillard comes for it himself. Oh, he's got it.
We never know when Bruce Robillard comes like that, but he's had a good game. A little flutter perhaps on the first one-handed touch, but he knew what he was doing, I'm sure. Well, I think so anyway.
That's a clearance by Andy Orford. And it's Whelan. This is Marsh, who's just come on, number 12, to Venison, 14, to McManaman, number 7. 3 in the middle for Liverpool. It's still McManaman. And now it's Marsh. Venison, Whelan. Portsmouth fans getting a bit jittery. There's only about a minute to go before extra time. It's Jones. Nicol.
possession there. Steve McManaman, when he came inside, should have whipped it in, shouldn't he? And then he just played it square. There's another 6 or 7 passes before it went away. But he created the space, come inside on his left foot, and should have whipped it across.
Header there by Wright. This is Michael Thomas. We're in the 45th minute of the second half. Extra time looms in the semi-final. Portsmouth have one more surge forward with Chris Burns. Wright goes across. Marsh. Understand that Ray Houghton went off with a knock on the knee. Marsh is on in his place. This is Jones. Stoppage time now. Marsh. McManaman with Beresford at his back. Referee had a good look at that and said, play on. And Anderton can't get away from Ronnie Whelan. And these two teams can't get away from each other. The 90 minutes up now, no score in the semi-final. Portsmouth have had their chances. Liverpool have had their spells in the ascendancy, but nothing on the end of it at the moment. Michael Thomas. Marsh. Thomas has gone again inside right position. Rush in the middle. And Barnes. And no real pullback there. The whistle goes to end the 90 minutes between Liverpool and Portsmouth. And the second division team, to their utmost credit, are extending Liverpool all the way. We shall now have a pause. Then there will be 15 minutes each way of extra time, and if we can't settle it then, there'll be a replay on Monday week. But I think you'll agree at home, even if you haven't had time for your lunch, and you won't have now, but it's a good game, Desmond Lynham.
It certainly is, John. You almost feel as though a goal might spoil it. But, Jimmy, what do you think about that? I mean, Portsmouth have been under the cosh there for the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes, but always have looked as though they could win it.
Yes, we said that they might learn from the first half excitement and calm down on the chances they've had. Unfortunately for them, they haven't done that. They still have had chances. They've been more equally shared out in that half. And it really is anybody's game. It's a matter of fitness. It's a matter of anybody can make that athletic run at the right stage of the game and stay up and score a goal. They're all fizzling out now as they get nearer the goal.
What do you feel about the Liverpool players who've sort of come back after a long spell out, Alan?
That's a good point. Normally in extra time you would fancy Liverpool to finish stronger, but 4 or 5 of the players that are left on the pitch for Liverpool have all been out with hamstrings, and I think they might feel the pinch sooner or later. But having said that, the two teams are very tired, and that's when mistakes occur. Everything to play for them in the extra time.
Well, Rush put the ball in the net, didn't he? Let's have another look at that with you, Alan, and see what you made of that goal being disallowed.
McManaman's got it here, and he's trying to dribble past. The ball comes through, and Rush goes in.
Is it offside?
It's offside. It might have been handball, Michael Thomas, but to be fair, the linesman had his flag up straight away.
Yeah, I think we'll have to talk to the linesman about that.
Well, the Rush thinks he's scored, doesn't he?
I've got another angle from a referee's point of view, the old dangerous play. The boot into the goalkeeper's hand, who may have just got to the ball first. I don't know whether we can tell
Thomas here.
Yeah, he might have handball.
Yeah.
He might have handled, Rush might have been offside, and it might have been dangerous play when he kicked into the goalkeeper's hands. Really? 3 reasons for not giving Liverpool a goal.
The linesman had his flag up right away.
It wasn't a goal, yeah. The Portsmouth kids have done well, haven't they?
They certainly have. I mean, really, they've had the better of the chances in the 90 minutes. Having said that, the last 15-20 minutes, they looked a little bit tired as well. Liverpool had a lot of possession. As I said, extra time, both sides will be tired, and that's when the mistakes will occur.
Now, Michael Thomas is the sort of player that you don't see him for a long spell, and then he can win the match for you.
I've been cursing about his midfield play, quite honestly, because I don't think he's Liverpool quality. But on the other hand, he pops up there in the penalty area, as we've seen him do before, not been in the game very much, not by Liverpool standards anyway, and then just come in and become the hero of the day by snatching that goal. And that's one way in which that Liverpool might win it.
He does make great runs from the middle of the park. He made a great run to support Steve McManaman, where Knight gets down, makes a fantastic save, and that was a good run there again.
Now, they've got some kids in the team, but Colin Clark's an old head for Portsmouth, and he's played well.
I think he's had a superb game. He brings other players into the game very well. I thought Anderton did well, and the ref there, to allow play to go on. Let it go, and that was the one moment I think that Clark will be looking at tonight before he goes to bed and saying, I could have put us into the final.
It's the first time Anderson's really been in the game, and all credit to him, because, as you say, he does well to get up there.
Yeah, right. Extra time is about to get underway. 0-0, of course, and we've got Norwich-Sunderland to follow this. Enjoy it. John.
Yes, Des, I think I can confirm pretty certainly that was disallowed for offside, you know, because we looked again when the linesman's flag went up, and it was well before Rush challenged the goalkeeper. So I think it was an offside decision, a marginal one, it might be said, but then again, from one angle, it looks as though he probably was offside, and the goal, as you said, did not stand. Pompey then, in the first period of extra time, are playing from right to left. This is Burns, and that was Venison. Now Marsh. Marsh, who came on for Houghton, who has a knee injury. Number 12. McManaman. Clark. McLaughlin.
It's a case of whether Portsmouth, that last 10 minutes they did defend, they did look a bit weary. They've got to try and support Colin Clark a bit more as they had done for the first sort of 70 minutes. And I think, you know, it's just a case of trying to get forward now, because if I think they push back and defend like they did in that last quarter of an hour, you feel a chance or two will come Liverpool's way and they might just score one. And I think it is important psychologically not to sit back.
Okay. Well, the fans certainly are going to see through the full 120 minutes at full throttle. And it's Venison to take a throw for Liverpool. McManaman. Venison again. Marsh. McManaman. Good little touch. This is Marsh. Rush!
Should have scored. Great move. Superb cross from Mike Marsh. And I just instinctively thought it's a goal. Rose just couldn't keep it down. Should have scored.
So the ace goal scorer puts a header over the bar, and his own expression and that of the bench completely in accordance with the judgment of Mr. Brooking. It was a great cross by Marsh. Aspinall. Beresford. Thomas forward, hoping for McManaman to chase that, but again Andy Orford just coming into the hole behind Beresford to make the clearance. It's been very much the pattern for Portsmouth, and he looks a terribly talented player, this number 2, who was so doubtful until yesterday. Venison. Oh, good position here for Ronnie Whelan. Tries to set Marsh up. Jones. Rob Jones, a good run. McManaman. Oh, good challenge. But it's back with Jones. Rush is there again. Ian Rush hits the bar. And they hold their heads. And Portsmouth, breathe a sigh of relief. Rob Jones here, instrumental in the attack. It's a good ball in, it's well chested down, and the volley hits the crossbar.
Portsmouth fortunate to survive. Good cross, chests it down superbly, and with a ball sort of thigh height, he does well to keep it down, enough even to get it onto the crossbar. Nearly a great finish that by Rush.
Well, Rush has posted 2 warnings now to Portsmouth. Will there be a third let-off? Or will something happen at the other end as Barnes challenges Neal? Good ball by Barnes to Whelan, who really found some space in that last attack for Liverpool. Thomas, that's a good turn too. And the First Division team now beginning to exert some class. Venison. Rush. Thomas is ahead of him. There goes Thomas, and it was Simon stretching who got the ball back. Could well be about endurance here in extra time. It won't be about morale because Portsmouth have plenty of that. But we'll see who's the stronger. It looks as though it might be Liverpool at this stage. Aspinall's header, not a good one. Barnes, Marsh. Now Whelan, and it's Barnes again. They've got everybody moving into attack now. Rob Jones with the cross. Off kick Simons, but conveniently for Knight.
I just wonder whether Jim Smith might think about bringing on Guy Whittingham just to put another person up with Clark to help relieve the pressure. At the moment they're getting him back so much, you just feel that Liverpool could get a goal now in extra time, and they've had two so close shaves. And at present they just can't get out of their own half, Portsmouth, and another fresh pair of legs up with Colin Clark would help them, I think.
That's a fair point. I remember that semi-final against Crystal Palace. The game still fluctuated even in extra time, didn't it? And Palace finished up winning, so don't let's write Portsmouth off, even though they've had to defend fiercely. That's forward by Neil. Now square to Burns. It can come to Beresford. McLaughlin making a run through the centre to join Clark now. Marsh. The two substitutes combining, but it was Poole that beat Benison. Burns who found Neil. Anderton to Clark. Good tackle by Ronnie Whelan. Rush. Barnes to his left. Now they want Barnes to work the magic on the left wing. But he can't against two opponents there, one of whom is Clark, doing a terrific job. Centre forward back in defence. Marsh. Little touch to Whelan. Whelan shot, and Knight happy to grab that at the second attempt on the 6-yard line from Ronnie Whelan.
Good run and shot, kept it down well, Ronnie Whelan. Alan Knight, been at the club a long time. Very reliable keeper over the years. Did well at the second attempt to hold on.
He's very keen to do well today, Knight, because he had a couple of bad moments on this ground a few years ago, Highbury, but he's kept a clean sheet, so has Grobbelaar. And we're halfway through the first period of extra time, and there's still no score in the FA Cup semi-final here at Highbury. This is cool for Portsmouth. Mark Wright's header out, and then his volley. Beresford. Over to Pompey. McLaughlin to Neil. Nicol. Driven forward by Ronnie Whelan. That's Clark. Now Anderton. McLaughlin's in the penalty area here. Aspinall coming in. Grobbelaar coming out. What a great throw. Tremendous throw to Michael Thomas. The whole field has opened up for Liverpool, and Thomas has spoiled it. And that's offside against Anderton on the far wing.
Magnificent throw by Bruce Grobbelaar. The only other goalkeeper that throws as well as him is Schmeichel of Manchester United, who this season has set up many United attacks, but it was a good take, and then instinctively he saw Thomas with a bit of freedom. Should have made more of it, perhaps.
This is Barnes. Bit of an untidy challenge by Warren Neal, but in the end the ball is back with Knight. sits and waits and wonders how this semi-final is going to be resolved. It's Rob Jones for Liverpool. Another promising run from left back, and he's found Venison. It opened up for Venison.
Well, that would have been fairy tale stuff, wouldn't it? Coming on, just opened up a good ball and run by Rob Jones. Portsmouth defence pulls out wide and just gives him a shooting chance. He has got a good shot, just wide.
5 minutes remains in the first period of extra time, and Jim Smith's second division Portsmouth still hold Liverpool. Beresford down the line for Aspinall, Mark right across. Sun casting shadows on the pitch on this lovely spring afternoon. This is Burns for Portsmouth. Oh, he's Clark! Off the line with Grobbelaar scrambling. Steve Nicol, I think. Grobbelaar made his first real mistake there, and he was saved by Steve Nicol from a header by Clark. And Liverpool are counter-attacking as Portsmouth still wonder how close they might have come to Wembley there. This is Thomas, Jones, Barnes that can't reach that. And again, Nicol is in the way. This is Wright. Now McManaman. And well done, Beresford. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, Trevor. But Liverpool, for the moment, are on the attack again. Thomas. McManaman. Pull back, Beresford. Free kick in a dangerous position. McManaman goes down. And there will be a delay while he is treated. They want Phil Boersma on for attention. And this is a tricky moment for Portsmouth because 1 minute they were nearly there with a header which was cleared off the line at the other end, and now when McManaman recovers, they will be defending desperately from a Liverpool free kick.
Well, here was the cross, and Bruce Grobbelaar doesn't get there, slips out of his hand, and Colin Clark trying to lob it over Steve Nicol. It was a comfortable defensive clearance in the end, and Bruce Grobbelaar just about to ruffle his hair there. But it was his positioning then. Nicol instinctively went back towards the goal line just in case. He's obviously played with Bruce before.
Well, he's feeling the effects of that all right. May even be a spot of cramp there as well, I don't know, but this is how it happened. Beresford came in behind McManaman and caught his left leg as he went down. Yeah, it was the tackle. And prolonged treatment here. Liverpool have used both their subs, of course.
It looks like his knee, doesn't it? Couldn't see him actually get a kick on it, so it might have just got tucked underneath him, which might have twisted it a bit, which is more of a problem than a kick, actually. And McManaman, who's been the danger man, they don't want to be without him. Both subs used, of course.
Steve McManaman in lots of pain.
Well, it doesn't look very good, does it? It just can hardly put his weight on it, and that's why you have to feel it's a bit of ligament damage there rather than a straightforward kick.
So it looks as though Liverpool are going to be reduced to 10 men because Phil Boersma has given the signal to Graham Souness, which suggested to me that McManaman is definitely going off. So a twist to this semi-final in extra time. Liverpool's most threatening attacker hobbles painfully out of the action. And it's obviously quite serious. Roy Evans is running around the back of the goal as well. In the meantime, let's stay with the free kick because it's danger. Venison curls it. Oh, great header. Clark, I think, away from right. And Portsmouth suddenly have a man over. 10 men Liverpool. Coming up to the end of the first period of extra time. And they've got a stretcher down there for McManaman. Marsh. McLaughlin. Clark. Oh, look at the spare man here. It's 3 against 1. If Wright doesn't make it, they're in trouble. But he did, for a moment. Free kick anyway, he's fouled them. So just a bit of stoppage time at the end of the first period of extra time because of the injury to Steve McManaman, who is being, sadly I think, prepared to be wheeled off on a stretcher.
Yes, they put the splints on, which is a worry. I would have thought it looked like the knee, though, which suggests it is a bit of ligament damage and they don't want him moving, and let's hope it's not as bad as that would appear.
Well, it's a real blow for Liverpool on the day. This is Nicol. Jones looks for Barnes, but the man in there was cool. And well shaken off by John Barnes. Took on 2 opponents there, couldn't quite beat the third. And now it's Clark down the line for Portsmouth. Looks for McLaughlin. This is Wright. Promising run by Mark Wright from the back. He's found Barnes. Thomas goes into the gap. And still Thomas. Marsh!
Again, Liverpool still putting the pressure on, even though they've got 10 men. Just at half-time now, you just wonder whether Jim Smith might say to his Portsmouth team, oh, come on, they're a man short. Let's even push forward and try and get the result here. And, of course, John Ferris with the left-back, who's been marking McManaman, a good attacking fullback, could get a bit more space. But it's good to see the Portsmouth fans. They're giving McManaman a great round of applause as he goes by.
I just wonder now if he'll stick Whittingham on, as you said, Jim Smith. But McLaughlin is being wheeled away on a stretcher, and McManaman is being wheeled away on a stretcher. And it may be that McLaughlin would go off for Whittingham, we'll see. We're well into the end of the first period of extra time here now. It's Aspinall for Portsmouth. Beresford is being booed by the Liverpool fans for the challenge on McManaman. It's Aspinall in again. End of the first period of extra time, which lasted 17.5 minutes because of the injury to Steve McManaman, which has reduced Liverpool to 10 men. Both the subs had already been used, but Portsmouth can now make a second substitution. As I thought, Alan McLaughlin is running across to the line, and is that to be replaced by Whittingham, or has he got other instructions? They're obviously thinking about bringing on Guy Whittingham because he's got his tracksuit off there in the background, and the conversation is about who he's going to replace.
He's got Chris Burns getting a bit of treatment, whether it looks like cramp there. And so it's just a case of, I think, whether Jim Smith makes a different substitution, or if Burns is struggling with his cramp, they might take him off. But Ian Rush has been complaining to the referee for a long, long time.
Trevor, there's going to be a booking here in the period before the restart. Rush has spoken out of turn to the referee. Whether it was about the Beresford tackle on McManaman, I wouldn't know. But it's a yellow card out technically between halves here for Ian Rush. And that little incident with the referee went on while Portsmouth was still debating what to do about Burns and Whittingham, and now Kit Simons tosses the drink can back, but McLaughlin has stayed on, Burns has stayed on, and Whittingham is waiting in the dugout. Well, Rush goes on a run now, marked by Alford, as we start the second period. So all sorts of things happened there in the interim, but we're back in the action now. The score is still 0-0. Liverpool are playing with 10 men, remember. McManaman injured, and Venison throws to Marsh. Thomas. This is Marsh again. McLaughlin. Whelan. Orford. Still Colin Clark, the lone raider at the moment for Portsmouth. Mark Wright volleys it back. Here comes Venison to Rush. Looking for Thomas on the far side. Beresford breasted it down. I'm sure you've been with us most, if not all, of the afternoon, but both teams have a player off the field injured now. Mark Chamberlain early on for Portsmouth after only 10 minutes play, and now Steve McManaman off for Liverpool, and they haven't been able to bring their strength back up to 11, having already used Venison and Marsh. So here's Barnes. Whelan to Jones. Whelan again. This is Rush. Thomas makes a run inside. Rush can't find him, but it's Rush still. He's threatening to go all the way in, Rush. Jones. Barnes. Good challenge for Coughlin, really. And now it's Anderton for Pompey, who should be able to use the extra man in situations like these. It's Beresford out to Burns. They've got Clark and Anderton coming in from this near side. That's Burns cross, there's a man over, it's Clark. And here's Anderton with a chance for Pompey. And now it's his turn to hold his head.
It was a great move, wasn't it? They made the extra man tell there. Deep cross by Burns, deliberately nodded by Clark. Good first chest, just past the post. Super move.
News coming through that McManaman has a twisted knee. This is Barnes. Jones is overlapping on the left. Michael Thomas in the middle with Mike Marsh. Still Jones. Cleared by Orford. Now Whelan. Barnes. Marsh. Barnes! Oh, it rebounded agonisingly away from Rush. Well, there are one or two tired players out there now for sure. Well, this is the substitution that we thought might happen. Off goes Alan McLaughlin, and on comes Guy Whittingham, who was the top scorer at Pompey for the last 2 seasons, number 14, and he usually plays up front with Clark.
Yeah, I think they've given Burns a few minutes. He seemed to come through after that bit of cramp at the interval at extra time, so they've now decided to bring on Whittingham for McLaughlin.
Well, just when you thought Liverpool were beginning to exert a superiority, they've lost a player, so the semi-final still beautifully balanced here. In the second period of extra time, it's Thomas to Marsh. Thomas goes for the return. Free kick the other way. Just a reminder to anybody that needs a refresher on the rules. We're so used to penalty shootouts these days. It won't happen today. It could happen in the replay, which would be at Villa Park on tomorrow week.
Mind you, a few Sunday dinners might have gone up in smoke. They thought they'd probably sneak them in between the 2 semi-finals, and now I think a few trays will have to be got out for the second one.
I think it was the day for a big breakfast, really, wasn't it, Trevor? Anyway, this is Marsh. And now it's Rush. Warren Neal. Oh, that's a good-looking ball. It's Anderton. A real chance for Pompey. Darren Anderton. It's there. Portsmouth are in the lead of the semi-final. And it's the 20-year-old prospect, Darren Anderton, who goes through the middle to score. How coolly he takes the chance. Warren Neal with the through ball. That was precision. Wright couldn't get across. Grobbelaar came out, and Anderton aimed it. Grobbelaar got his hands to it, and it went in the corner.
Great pass, wasn't it, by Warren Neal? Darren Anderton, a lot of time, I think, to think about where do I put this. Kept it down, and although he got a hand to it, Grobbelaar. 1-0, 4 over.
Dear, oh dear, 110 minutes gone. The 10 men are a goal down. It's Barnes. And Alan Knight comes to make the catch. And are we going to see one of the great romantic stories of football here? Has Anderton and Warren Neal, between them, cultivated the goal that could take a second division team to Wembley? Liverpool's fabled powers of recovery are now on the line. And it's cool for Portsmouth, who are within touching distance of a most unexpected achievement. They've just got to keep calm. The fans will probably want to sing them home now with what, 9 minutes maybe. But they've got to hold their nerve. Anderton, the man that they said might unlock the Liverpool defence, has scored the first goal of this semi-final. But this is rush to Marsh. And now it's Venison. Marsh again. It's a free kick, I think, against, well, the linesman flagged. I don't think Martin Bodden, well, he will now. Oh, it's the other way. Liverpool supporters furious because it would have gone to them had the linesman been seen the first time. But Martin Bodden saw the second challenge and gave the free kick in favour of Chris Burns and Portsmouth. Well, what drama we have here at Highbury. The Portsmouth supporters making a right old racket as Andy Orford swings that free kick up towards Clark. That's Burns. There's Whittingham. It's right and cool. The arguments have started. Ronnie Whelan is pointing at the referee, and there was an incident there which he'll have to sort out as tempers rise here. Cool and Wright got, well, they lost their cool, didn't they, actually? So you're talking there about the two captains, and Martin Bodden says, I'm in charge. And this isn't a matter of the two captains being called to calm the game down, it's a question of calming themselves down. It's yellow card for Martin Cool. And Mark Wright, who's had so much heartbreak in semi-finals, broke his leg once with Southampton, lost with Southampton here, and now he's losing with Liverpool. There's about 6 minutes and a half to go. It's Grobbelaar with the long kick. And Liverpool a goal behind, have Whelan on the ball now to Jones. Rush is there, Wright is there. Oh, he's got it come, Thomas. How do they scramble that away? Whelan! It's a corner. And Portsmouth don't know themselves how they cleared it. Alan Knight got lost in the crowd, and the crowd themselves had their hearts in their mouths there. It's a corner to be taken by Venison. And he's pulled it right back to Rob Jones, and that's absolutely hopeless.
I'm not sure that was intended either, but you know, the set pieces have been very poor for Liverpool. Rob Jones getting right underneath that, but there was a mad scramble just before, and I should think those in few minutes now are going to take a long time to go as far as Portsmouth supporters are concerned.
Well, there are 5 minutes and a bit more left, plus any stoppage time, and Portsmouth, with Martin Cool playing it forward, are within sight of Wembley for the first time since 1939. But as I said before, you never rule Liverpool out in the final minutes of any game. This is Wright now playing in the attack. Barnes, Marsh, Jones. He wants to get it inside on his right foot. This is Nicol, Steve Nicol, a good run. Oh, he's been tricked. Andy Orford. Andy Orford holds his hands up. He's not one of the players who's previously been booked. But there's no need for Nicol to remonstrate with the referee, who saw exactly what happened. So we've now got at least our 6th yellow card of this semi-final.
Good position for John Barnes' left foot as well, I would have thought.
This is the danger. The curler from Barnes. Michael Thomas is standing to his left as well. Venison, who might fancy blasting one, is also in the proximity, but Barnes is the man here who they'll be frightened of. He saved many a match with his free kicks.
Just 3 steps, wasn't it, John Barnes? There he is, 2-step over the wall. Just got the faintest of touches off the post, and it's Whelan first to react.
1-1, and poor old Alan Knight. The ball came back off the post, but there you are. Whelan followed it in. That's where you've got to be to save a semi-final, right in the danger area. And Whelan and Barnes have got Liverpool out of jail here, with no more than 4 minutes to go. And Portsmouth now have a free kick, and you wouldn't bet on what's going to happen next. Simons is up there, and so is Burns. And Grobbelaar punches, but here's Anderton. And Clark in there. And Rush. And what a mistake in a way to concede a free kick in that territory. And now they're really in trouble. It's Rush, as the 10 men of Liverpool claw their way back desperately into a semi-final that was going away from them fast. It's Barnes again to Rush, and now Jones. And suddenly the Portsmouth end absolutely silent. But you've got to say it was a good free kick. He curled it away from the keeper against the post, and Whelan quicker to react than any of the Portsmouth defenders.
Well, what a finish to the semi-final. Perhaps it's not even finished yet, but a magnificent game, and perhaps now at this stage I think I'd like to see a second match. Nobody would want to lose at this stage.
To go. Maybe a bit of stoppage time. It looks like Villa Park tomorrow week. It's 1-1 with both the goals coming in extra time, and Portsmouth so close to Wembley. Burns, and Burns has been felled off the ball by Michael Thomas. This is Neil to Anderton, and Whittingham's in there this time. So was Marsh. Anderton again. And now it's Aspinall, and outside him is John Beresford. 5 in the middle for Pompey, and he can't get the cross in. Second chance, still can't. Well, even some of the people who've got seats are standing now. This is Orford. 1 minute. Forward by Kit Simons. Right with Whittingham. Venison. Well, just look at that. They weren't singing like that 5 minutes ago, I can tell you. Is this going to be Whittingham now for Portsmouth? He's found Anderton. Aspinall's waiting in the centre. The cross has come off Steve Nicol, and Pompey, in the dying embers now at this semi-final, have a corner. Stoppage time as Aspinall goes into the area with Clark, and beyond them is Whittingham, and Burns and Simons wait to come in. And there's Kit Simons. Whittingham missed his kick completely. He's still there. Wright gets his feet mixed up. Burns, Whittingham, Barnes away. Desperate stuff. And still Pompey have it. Orford. And forward there, Martin Cool, but it's going to run on. And It's a goal kick. Trevor Brooking, what do you make of this?
Well, it's a super game, but a lot of character, Liverpool, to be fair, to go down 10 men, get back level. But Portsmouth have played their part, haven't they? And Jim Smith disappointed in the end, but that man there's relieved Graham Souness, but Jim Smith disappointed, having got the goal. I'm sure he thought he was going to lead his team out at Wembley.
It's a replay at Villa Park tomorrow week, because with both goals coming in extra time, Liverpool and Portsmouth finish level. The second division team in the lead through Anderton. Their supporters and Jim Smith were thinking about Wembley, but you can never dismiss Liverpool. And the 10 men came back, and Barnes' clever free kick gave Whelan the chance. The man who's come back from injury this season applauds the fans, gave Whelan the chance to spoil that little boy's day. The final score at Highbury, a breathless Highbury now, is Liverpool 1, Portsmouth 1.
Well, a wonderful match, but Jimmy Hill, a sickener for the Portsmouth fans.
Absolutely dreadful, but they would have enjoyed their day, wouldn't they? They've held a European side in a classic match. People say semi-finals. There's so much at stake. They're often, not good games of football. My goodness, what a good game of football we've just seen.
Final thought from Alan Hansen.
Yeah, it was a super game. Both sides were absolutely magnificent. It was just a bad place to give a free kick away, wasn't it? 6 minutes from time.
So they do it all again on Monday week. Well, there we are, I think.